Stringjoy. It's our little frequently asked questions live cast we do every so often. So it's been a few weeks since we did the last one, and I've gotten some good questions into my inbox. I don't think I'll be able to cover all of them today, but we'll pick a few of the most popular questions we keep getting and go after them. So let's get rolling. The most popular question I've been getting of late is, what was NAMM like? If you're not familiar with the NAMM show, it's basically just the biggest, most massive convention of all sorts of gear for guitar, drums, basses, recording gear, all sorts of super cool stuff. There's one in January, that's the big one, and then there's another one that's usually in June here in Nashville. But the January one is in Anaheim, and it is a massive and super cool thing. There was all sorts of amazing gear to check out. And, you know, if you ask 30 different people, they tell you 30 different things. For me, one of the coolest things that I saw this year was all about the digital drives. And what I'm talking about is like the Strymon Riverside and the Chase Bliss Brothers, which of course is actually an analog drive, but it's digitally controlled. Those two gold boxes were super cool to be able to check out in person. The Strymon Riverside ended up actually really surprising me. The high gain tones in that thing are super, super great. I didn't love it as much for low gain stuff, but the high gain stuff was super rad. The Chase Bliss Brothers was super, super cool. Just a really flexible fuzz and an overdrive. It can kind of be whatever you really want it to be, but it brings a really, really cool character to everything. Now, whether those pedals are right for you or not, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if they're right for me. The thing is, both of those drives are 300 or 350 for the Chase Bliss, and they absolutely are worth it in terms of features. The tough part really is like for 300 or 350 bucks. With drive pedals, you can get a ton of really cool stuff. I mean, I got like a soul food, a rat, a muff, all used in like the past year for, gosh, together like 140 or 150 bucks. And it's kind of tough to really beat how cool of different things you can get for that sort of price. So I'm not sure if it's right for everybody, but for me, it was a lot of fun to be able to check out both of those super, super cool pedals. Number two, I keep getting a lot of questions about drop tuning and what the right string gauges are for them. We'll probably go into like a whole big in-depth video that'll cover all the different bases for drop tuning. But to speak to it a little bit right now, for starters, most of our sets are actually going to perform better if you're drop tuning than a lot of typical sets, just because we use an actual balanced sixth string, which is going to hold up a lot better than a lighter sixth string that doesn't have as much tension as the rest of the wound strings in the set. But if you're drop tuning a lot, going with something like a heavy bottom set or a husky set even is a really good move. If you're drop tuning all the time, we have drop tune sets that are optimized for specifically drop tuned players that are going to keep their guitar in that tuning all the time. And probably the biggest nuance is, if you're frequently switching between dropping and playing in standard, that's where I usually recommend something like a heavy bottom or going just slightly heavier on the sixth, but not all the way up to where our drop tune sets are. That can be a really good way to actually balance things when you're dropping, but also keep things in a way that's like really pretty nice and balanced and standard. A good example would be something like 10, 13 and a half, 17, 30, 42, 54, or 30, 42, 56 if you're drop tuning a lot. Those sets can be a really good balance if you want things to stay really tight when you're down there and not have that crazy, crazy floppy sixth string. So keep an eye on that. And of course, like if you have any particular questions or want me to point you in the right direction, you can hit me up anytime. I'm scott@stringjoy.com. And the third and final question we'll go into today is, what's next for Stringjoy in 2017? What all are we working on these days? There's a lot of cool stuff we've been working on. Not everything I can talk about. Probably the coolest thing that you'll see these days is us starting to get into some stores that are like the right fits for us. We've got a few people that we're working with right now that we're super excited to work with, just because they really fit what we are as a brand and really like selling, you know, cool boutique, high quality guitar gear, and that's always our focus. So you're going to see us expand a lot into that in the future. If there are any stores in any of your particular markets that you think we'd be a really great fit for and you want to see us in, let us know. We'd be happy to take a look and see, you know, maybe we missed it and we can talk to those guys in particular. And the other big thing is just working with more cool partners. We're always working with more and more awesome luthiers all the time. We just added Copeland Guitars to the family in Austin, Texas. Those guys make absolutely killer builds, and that's our second builder in Austin. We've got Lincoln Guitars down there too, and they do a great job as well. So there'll be even more people coming into the fold soon and on throughout the year. It's a really cool thing to be able to provide a lot of these amazing builders with great strings to complement the super awesome builds that they're doing in the first place. So that's one of my favorite parts of my job. But we're just growing all the time, adding more people and selling more strings and making more people smile and making them happy, which is always a ton of fun. It's an honor to be able to do it. So that's it for today's episode of Frequently Asked Questions. We'll do another one here in a week or two. If you have any particular burning questions that you really want to ask and see if I can answer them as best as I can, shoot me an email. Again, it's scott@stringjoy.com. Ask away, and I will do my best to give you a good answer. So thanks everyone for tuning in.